The Brass Lantern, a side adventure for Dungeons & Dragons. Your party finds itself on a seaside location. The smell of fish, the feel of the sea spray, the salt in the air, and the heavy mist that lies everywhere. The location can be found almost anywhere. Your heroes may find themselves here between adventures. They may find themselves needing rest. Up ahead, an inn. Sitting in the inn, an inn like any other. Hardwood floors, tables and chairs, badly lit, tired employees working. The room is filled with sailors, fishermen, shopkeepers. It's getting dark. Your party is sitting around a table, off to themselves, being left alone. When the door opens, it creaks. You hear it over the sound of all the people around you. A small and thin man in a dark woolen coat and black rubbery boots walks in. You seem to hear the squeaking of his shoes on the floor. He slips through the room without anyone seeming to notice him. He sits down at your table without nary an introduction or invite. He looks at you, says each of your names, and says, "You may find this hard to believe, but I know where a great treasure can be found. And on your word, I will give it to you if you bring me my due. I only ask for 1 out of 20 coins in this trove. You will also find an old brass lantern. It was my grandfather's. If you bring that one to me, I would be grateful. The third item is hard to explain, but I promise you, you will know it when you see it. Return it to me, and we will be square." He hands you the parchment. It is a weathered, drawn map of this local area, and on the side of it is an address. With a little digging, you would learn quickly where it could be found in town. You look up from the map, and the old sea dog is gone, as if he had faded back into the mist in which he came from. Should you take him up on this offer, you will need to procure your own boat to the gray island that lays in the bay of this community, for no one in town would go near it. Any questions about the gray island will be met with laughter and disgust, for it is surely a cursed place. Your venture starts by getting to it and landing on the soft shore. Now, if you would like to play this adventure as a player, now is the time to stop. Send this video to your DM. See if they would like to hear more. See if they would like to run it. Any further, you will spoil the adventure for you, for I'm going to talk about what problems and treasures and puzzles may be found on this island. You have been forewarned. Now, of course, the DM is now listening, and you are free to change anything that I put here. This is just an inspiration idea that I had, and I wanted to create a little video to go with it. So let's continue as we land on the shoreline of the Gray Island. The sailor that the party met is obviously a ghost of some sort. For me, my sailor was kidnapped from home, forced to take an oath of loyalty and serve on the crew of a ship for 2 years. His payment, not only getting to keep his life, was for 1/20th of all treasure, and to be returned home. He was not. That is what they will find at the end, is money, his family's brass lantern, and the third item is his bones, which he would like to have returned home so he could be put to rest. You can change this if you like. The crew of this pirate ship would kidnap people, and those that would not take the oath, they would bury up to their necks here in the sand and watch the tide roll in. Sometimes people they captured, whose family would not pay the ransom, would also find themselves in a similar fate. So this island has a high count of skeletal and zombie foes on the shoreline. How thick and deep you want them to be is up to you. And if the party should find themselves able to make it past the shoreline into the wet woods of the Grey Island, they will find no salvation there either. The forest is teeming with life. Hungry life. Mostly things that can fly. Sturges and bats and other dangerous creatures. I envisioned this adventure to be for about third level characters. So something with a special attack or hard to hit, or maybe just a high number of them. Wandering through the forest could also be large rodents, dire rats, things of that nature. A puzzle or two, some booby traps, would also dot the landscape. I see the Grey Island being about 2 by 4 miles, so it's a large landmass. Probably about 2 to 3 hours worth of rowing from shore. That time could, of course, be doubled if your crew isn't sailors. On the island, they will find no structures. What little there was at one time has long since rotted and fallen. If you wish to give them any kind of clues, maybe an old fire pit where the stones still stand. When they do come to the treasure, they will find a level appropriate amount of gold and silver. They will find the brass lantern. They will find the bones of the sea dog. They will find 7 hands, all left hands, mummified and wrapped, each one wearing a silver ring. The 7th ring will have ruby inlet in the eyes of the silver skulls that are on these rings. This is an artifact, the Ring of the Damned. Anyone who puts the ring on will be unable to remove it. It is a curse. It grants the wielder the ability to speak to the undead and the dead. Just because someone is dead, though, and you can speak to them, doesn't mean they have anything to say to you. Much less will they actually listen to you. So communication is possible, but not control. The ring has a secondary effect. Anyone wearing the ring can make an unarmed melee attack with a bare hand against skin and drain 1d6 hit points and heal. Once that total of healed hit points matches the player's maximum hit points, then that player is turned into a wraith. You can put whatever kind of saving throws you want in there. You can lessen the curse if you want. But I think it is an interesting item to give a player power at a cost. If the players find the treasure and return it to the family, they will find a granddaughter interested in the legend of a grandfather who disappeared 70 years ago. The lantern has minor magical abilities. Any oil put in this lantern will not spoil and will burn 5 times longer than any normal lantern would. The lantern also is indestructible as long as it is being used in the manner in it was crafted. For example, if it is sitting on a post and the wind blows it over in a stormy night, the lantern would not break. If a hero should swing it at an orc's head, that's not normal use, it would break. I leave it to you, DM, to decide what is a normal use and what is not. And so concludes a side adventure, The Brass Lantern. If you would like to hear more, please leave a comment down below. If you have any advice or suggestions, I'm always open to them. May your dice always roll fair, and your game nights be fun.